Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their pics are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs. We, the people, have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title IV says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the line. It's all right.
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightst feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calmed. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.
Childhood, growing and developing years of a person, this is meant to be a highly important time to create morals, fundamentals, and skills necessary to be a success. Instead, the trauma CPS creates in these young minds set a path of disaster, and statistics prove it. In nearly 90% of their cases, the trauma is unnecessary. Time is the one thing that can never be given back. CPS takes away moments in life that can't be replaced. The time just keeps going, doesn't mean a thing anymore. They left as children, and it's up to them when they come home if they know who you are. Each second away is time you will never get back and keep getting older.
Studies are leading towards incarceration.
Now comes the honorable judge in the halls of justice, where the Constitution will hold strong and your rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness will trample CPS for all they have done to your child.
The truth and corruption that's revealed to you is enough to make you sick. This is not America we were sold.
Children are being taken from families at the rate of one a minute. It needs to be stopped.
It's time to wake up and abolish CPS.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to CPS Victims Hunting Justice Memorial Day version here. Just bear with me 1 second. We're trying to do a live thing with TikTok and a live thing with this, and wasn't quite ready for it, but we're doing it. So just bear with me here. It's obviously a little dark, so we're going to change that up here for us really quickly. How we all doing on this Memorial Day weekend, guys? We doing all right? All right, there we go. Let's kill this a little bit. All right. We all doing all right? I'm going to get the chat up here for a second. And I want to just do something. I want to get you guys, we don't ever do this enough, I don't think. But I want to hear a little bit about you guys and your stories. I want to talk about that. In 20 minutes, it's my, sorry guys. In 20 minutes, it's my baby's 7th birthday. She was taken a month before her 4th birthday. It really sucks. It really sucks. So, I hate these holidays. I hate these lights even more right now. Red isn't good on me. Jesus Christ. Sorry about this, guys. Really. Ooh, beautiful. All right. So, it really sucks. I understand all of this stuff too well with all of you that are feeling this pain out there. We got the chats right here, guys. Hey, Carrie, how you doing? We got the chat. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let's have a little Memorial Day together, right? I'm waiting for Melissa. She was here with me earlier. We watched a little bit of some movies and stuff. We'll watch some stuff, some Nancy Schaefer stuff. We'll watch maybe a little bit of that Sentence Finance. I just felt like the best way for me to grieve my thing with what I've got going on was to be here with my people right here. Maybe together we'll all come up with something, right? So, yeah. Anyway, there's the chat right there on the side, guys. Please make sure that you go ahead and talk to us here. I'm trying to do this TikTok thing, but I think I'm failing miserably at it. What we can do is we could do a call-in. If you guys want to do a call-in, you can get me at 207-200-6982 if you want to call in and tell me your stories. If you want to get it on the air so people can hear it, Again, that number is 207-200-6982. And we can we'll talk about what you've got going on and how it's going, and what you've done in your life to better yourself, to seek the justice that you have found against CPS. Because I think that's what we all yearn for and we all need. So I think that's a very important thing. I think that it's very hard to just deal with this stuff, right? So that being said, let's see here. Let's go through. Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. You know what? It's tough. It's tough, guys, to keep up with all this stuff. It's hard to yeah, it sucks, Gary. I'm sorry, but hey, you guys support the stream right here. Let me move that chat thing. But you can support the stream right there. It costs a lot to run these websites, to run the videos and all that stuff. So if you guys can, donate anything, that would be really cool. You can do it just by this QR code right here. That would be wonderful. And we also have, other things that you can purchase. I mean, we have the Baller CPS. I mean, we got Property of Mom and Dad t-shirts that can be purchased. We've got CPS Punisher hoodie, t-shirt, sweatshirt. My personal favorite. Actually, this is my favorite here. The Baller CPS. Now look at in this one here, the face goes all the way over the pocket. It doesn't do this weird cutoff thing. So don't let that fool you. I changed the design. So the face is actually in full suit here. It's not just, chopped up like that. So, I mean, that's a damn good looking sweatshirt too. And then, of course, my coveted Making Parents Great Again hat. I won't say who that looks to be as far as politician that might wear this, but it is somebody that we all know. And check out that, man. I've got one of these hats too. Making Parenting Great Again, and it says Stop CPS Corruption. So check that out. All right. So check that stuff out, guys. I don't know if any of you have ever been to the Abolish CPS website, but if you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. Go to abolishcps.com. There's a bunch of information there for you. There's chat rooms there. There's all kinds of stuff that's there. All right, we got a call coming in here. Hello? 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 All right, Melissa's here with us, guys. She has found me. Hello, Melissa.
Hey.
Hey.
So
we're doing.
I kind of got the TikTok studio thing figured out on my laptop.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was able to put it on my laptop and get it to work. You have to download it and install it. But if you go to TikTok, you go up top to the profile, and you look in the profile. The profile will actually, if you go down, you have live studios, live center, and live something else. You want to go to the live center, and then you just click the live button.
Really? All right. Well, I'm going to try to get it. Are you there now? Are you guys checking out? Do you guys know about this TikTok stuff, guys? Oh, wonderful. Now to add insult injury. What did I not do tonight? Let's see here. All right. So, Melissa, this Memorial Day weekend, I was just talking with everybody about everything. Do you have any plans, or do you guys go the non-planning route of holidays without the kids around?
There hasn't been a holiday since the kids have left. No holidays, no birthdays. What's the point?
Right. Yeah, that's
So
it's a,
today I'm putting an injector pump in my truck. I even posted a TikTok while doing it,
nice.
asking all the older generation ladies, how many of them have to bail their kids out because they don't know how to check the oil?
Oh, come on, it's got to be so many, right?
I'll tell
I
you
just
what,
learned how to change oil a few years ago.
it's had over 400 views, and almost all women responded. A couple guys responded, but I didn't need the comment of, "Oh, that's hot."
Come on, that got you.
Dude,
That made you smile.
changing my injector pump is not hot. Well, actually, yeah, it
Oh,
was
it is
hot.
hot.
It
Yeah,
was
hot
91
under your hood,
degrees with the
right?
sun beating off the
Yeah,
hood.
that's what I was going to say. Yep. Boy, those pistons were firing. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, the
Uh,
pistons were firing and the sweat was rolling, and there wasn't enough ice water to stay cool.
right.
So about 1 o'clock, when the sun got overhead, I said, "Fuck this shit! I'm going inside for 3 hours."
Careful, Jr. must be ready to fall out of the bed right now.
Are you kidding? He's been trying to saw logs for about an hour now.
Oh
He
yeah, he's
wore
got
himself out.
to.
Yeah, no, we redid a couple generators today to get them ready to put them up for sale first of the week. Got a couple pressure washers done because I've been selling a lot of small engine stuff.
Yeah.
Nope, at this
So
time I'm just biding time, waiting for the June 13th court date.
yeah, I mean, I can't get here soon enough. I'm sure. I don't even think it's going to go anywhere. To be honest, I don't even think you're going to have a court date. I think these people are so realizing that they've screwed up that I think that you got nothing to worry about but getting the bedrooms ready for the kids to come home.
Oh hell,
That's
my
what
house has been ready. But my attorney wrote a response to the dingbats motion to quash.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you explain to
Oh,
everybody what a quash is?
quash, it literally
Yeah.
means squash. Stop, non-exist, dismiss.
Why
That's
do
why
they
I never
call it?
understood why they call it quash versus squash. I guess they wanted to try to make it sound more intelligent, better. But really, yeah, it just means motion to dismiss. Motion to vacate its filing.
Yeah. So that's really, I think that I think that your stuff is going to just come way faster than you think. I really do. I mean, they don't have much left in there in the way of evidence. I mean, you got rid of the GAL. Now, I mean, who do you have to sit there and volunteer
Well, so
information
you
for
know the GAL in that paper I sent you, if you remember, she says she's never made recommendations other than what has been stated in the open courtroom.
right?
But you haven't read her motion to move the kids because all it is open statement. And then in the response we wrote, we called her, I believe the attorney, Yancey called her, he said something about her half baked ideas and lies.
That's funny.
Like, he literally just put it out there.
Half baked. You don't even smoke pot.
She might.
Yeah, apparently so. Something's going on there. These people are crazy. I'm trying to figure this. I'm going to put us under learn. When it says add topic, I'm going to say learn. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I always put it under.
Learn. All right.
Maybe one of those other Random guest, don't pop in and say your content's inappropriate. That's what I got for airing your show last night.
Oh yeah, what was our inappropriate content?
It wasn't really that it was inappropriate content. It was who stopped over to view it. Oh, by the way, I found Macy's live. She was live all day today.
Oh, was she?
You know, she was talking about winning her kids back and all that, but she didn't have any kids with her. She was baking cookies, and she had someone cash app her $10 because she was broke and she needed something for something she was doing.
Oh, well, you know what? That's all right. You know what? She needed $10. She needed $10. To hell with it. You know, look at we've got
Yeah,
Carrie here.
she
We've
was
got
doing
her.
she was doing baked goods. She was baking shit on her live. Yep.
You know that I used to be a chef. That's what I was in my That's what my previous. That's how I met my wife Mary. Was I ran the kitchen at her golf course that she ran. So if you
So you
oh
went
yeah,
from
maybe that's
that
what we should do. Maybe we
you
should have
went from
people.
that to clean up to outing the government. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I guess that's when you say it's a dirty job and
yeah.
someone's got
Someone's
to
got
do
to
it.
do it. Yeah. So first was the bio recovery. That's what I was first. I did that for a lot of years. I did that for a lot of years. And we that was crime and death scene cleaning. So that was good stuff. I'm trying to figure this out here. We're on live. I got my TikToks on live with us right now. See folks that was here. So I did crime and death cleaning first, and then I put restaurant stuff on the side, and then when they came and took our daughter, I put on. I went ahead and came to this, but I went to college for film production. I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh and got a degree in film production. So how I've ended up on this path, I have no idea. But I know the one thing I was supposed to be was a father and a dad. I mean, we have our older daughter that I did just fine with, and Mary came in at her age of 10, and she, took control of. Thank God, because Bree was at the age of womanhood, if you know what I'm saying. So, what the things that because her mother left her and had nothing to do with her.
Right.
When she was about 4 or 5, so it was just me and her. So thankfully, when Mary came along, it was just the right amount of time to do the things that maybe a dad shouldn't have to deal with his daughter. So anyway,
Yeah,
that's how that.
the monthly talk and the boy talk and all that. Guys just aren't easy about it.
So hey, what do you hear about this finance stuff that we've got going on? What do you hear about this? Let's talk about this, because there's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of things going on that he said, she said, yada yada yada, crying about this, that, and the other, saying this person pointing fingers. Isn't at the end of the day all of this stuff that we do supposed to be for the kids? So isn't that what this is all about? It doesn't matter who did or we did or this did or I did. I don't care who did it, as long as they did it, and that's it. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter anymore who, what, when, how, and whatever, as long as there wasn't things that were done.
I just think people need to quit being petty. The claim to fame. There is more than enough people out there suffering that they can all split the claim to fame, and it ain't no big deal.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Right.
Yep. That's it. You know what? This isn't the thing that you should be getting a claim to fame in. If you're trying to get a claim to fame in this stuff, then you're in the wrong place. You know what I mean? Like there's no trophies for the front runners trying to get our kids, because every one of these kids that we get back anyway will be damaged. So there is no winners in this. The winners will be for the future of us, that we didn't, leave kids in harm's way when we beat these guys, abolish them, get done what we need to get done. I mean, that would
So,
be cool. But
I was talking to one of our friends earlier today, actually, Dr. Fowler. We were discussing the fact that they're getting rid of the incentives, or at least they say they're getting rid of the incentives.
right, because
And
that's kind of a funny thing if you think about it, because I believe that's what uh, our favorite CPS fighter Connie said, that that's how they're getting paid, right? Isn't that how Connie said that they're getting paid
well,
now? It's through
so there's a general purpose fund of Title 4E, which covers like doctor's appointment. It covers the very basic of it covers the $500 check to the foster. It doesn't cover a lot of other stuff. On the other hand, the reunification incentives, for you to get a psych eval, the doctor gets like $1,000, $1,000 to $1,500. Well, the department's probably getting about $5,000 to do that psych eval, to find you the best doctor, to set up the best plan. They make about 3 times what you actually get. And actually, what I'll do, since I've kind of cornered this director, and I've made pretty good friends with this director, I'll straight out ask her after she gets back off vacation. I'll straight out ask her how they get paid on kids. I mean, she speaks to me pretty openly, and I speak to her pretty openly. Like, she knows I do the show. She knows that I'm willing to go all over the country helping families. Like, I didn't hide nothing to her. She understands that I am by no means stupid, that I am just being polite and professional, because it doesn't do my kids any good for me to go in there and show my ass. Because then they'll cut off visitation, and then that'll upset the kids. And by the time you go back and forth with that, the only one suffering in the end is kids. So like I told her, I said, look, there's a lot of people here that have been playing me for thinking that I'm naive. I said, I am by no means any such thing. And then I sat down and I broke down to her my knowledge of ASFA and Title IV funding and so on and so forth. And she told me I was absolutely right. So when she gets back off vacation, I'll ask her dollar amounts, like what are the difference between the incentives and the standard general pay fund. What's the worst she's gonna tell me? Go screw myself?
yeah, on the TikTok live right now. I got so Catherine Lester is from ASFA, from the SSA. She wants ASFA abolished. We want Miranda rights. We want social workers to wear body cams. That's absolutely right. Actually, we don't even want social workers, but we need to do something to put into place of these people that are caring for and helping the kids that are in imminent danger and do need people to support them and help them out. That's the biggest difference between what we're talking about and what's in the existence right now. But we need to actually make sure that we keep that push going. I actually have a bill. It's about 45 pages that if you're interested in, you can message me at abolishcps.com at gmail.com, and I will forward you the bill that you can introduce to your senators and your congresspeople and all that, and see if you can get that pushed forward. I would appreciate it, and I'm sure some unlucky families that have been through some BS with social services could deal with it too. I mean, that's the thing here. Like, all of this is a win-win, and I don't care if you put your name on it. I don't care if anybody puts their names on it. It doesn't matter to me. Just put it up there, get it up there, and abolish this system, right? Like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Who cares, right? Like, that's just it. That's the way that we are here, right? I don't care if Melissa gave out my bill and someone said, oh, Melissa's bill. I don't care. I don't care. All I care about is to make sure that our kids get home safe and somewhat unscathed. That's it. For the ones that
And
aren't
that's
going to
what the whole thing's supposed to be about. That's why, when all the different groups are playing the he said, she said, let's play this person against that person, and this one don't like that one. Now, if there's groups out there taking money and then leaving people high and dry, yeah, people like that need to be outed. But as far as the rest of the groups go, everyone just needs to work together.
Right. Agreed.
You know,
Sean McMillan, I guess, is suing CPS in California. We've had Sean McMillan. Have we had him on the? We've interviewed him. No, or were we talking about him? Actually, you know what?
We just talked about him.
Right, Carrie's the one that's talked to us about Sean McMillan. Carrie knows a lot about a lot of this stuff. I don't know, Carrie, you want to call in, or do you want to come on the show? Want to be a special guest? Because we're just kind of going by the seat of our pants tonight and doing some things. We figured since we were doing nothing, we should get out there and talk. But yeah, she says this. Catherine says, "Oh shit! I just closed my fucking TikTok. Oh no! What does that mean?
What, you mean drop the screen down? Just open it right back up. Your camera stays on.
It keeps coming up saying it's going to do this, or this. Will it let me go back to live?
It should.
Oh. Well, no, because it kept telling me, like, retry, telling me my phone the program wanted to clear out. So I had to keep saying, wait. Hey, we're live on TV right now. Yeah, there's my wife right there in the background. All right, so TikTok's going to allow me to go back live, it looks like. So let's see here. Maybe? Come on.
But, yeah, no, I reconnected with a friend of mine that a year ago I had kind of discussed with him a lot of the case because he is a forensic case specialist. He's also a psychiatrist, and he knows the laws of the states, like forward, backward, left, right. And he, over a year ago, he told me a couple things. He's like, just file these couple things, your old case would just go away. And at the time, I had an attorney, and I couldn't get the attorneys to do it. Go figure.
Right.
But,
well, I think what we need to do is go back to the basics for a minute, Melissa. And I think what we need to do is go over what these people need to know about CPS and what is actually going on, because I think that we're getting so much information misstrued and thrown out there, and things are oh, I'm sorry guys, I don't have the chat up there, my bad. I'm reading them over here thinking that they're all up there, but they're not. They are right here, so I apologize for that. My bad, everybody. But what I'm thinking is that we should go back and talk about things like what ASFA is, what is like, what does it mean? What came about with it? What came out with the Social Security Act? What came out with all of these things that created this monster known as the CPS machine, right? Like, this is where, because so many people are either jumping into this game midway through it, they're, been involved in it, they don't know proper information, they're fighting because their kids were taken, but they don't know what to do. So I think we need, I think we need to have a seminar on the basics of CPS 101. What about that?
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about a seminar, but I think we need to have a weekend class that it's just, we'll call it, CPS for dummies. So like making a play off the dummies thing. Why don't we do that?
Right.
And we can do it CPS for dummies, and we'll go over all of the essentials and all of the things that we need to have, and we'll incorporate some help from other people that we associate with. I'm sure that,
well, and maybe I could talk to Dean and see if he'd want to come on for an hour and speak, because that's what he does. He goes all over the country handling CPS cases.
Nice, very nice. I mean, but that seems
he's a forensic specialist that when he comes in, because he comes in as a medical expert, he goes through
Yeah.
the judge, gets the right to access the whole file. And
Oh, wow.
then what he does is he goes through the file and then he makes a forensic report of your file. And he takes that information straight to the judge, whether it meets the burden of proof, doesn't meet the burden of proof. That's the kind of shit he does, and that's how he gets families home. So he's really kind of, a neat person. But as I was saying earlier, I was talking to Dr. Fowler today, and she's right now tied up in her little lawsuit thing with the judge. But we were discussing, I said, for how little, I mean, yes, they make a lot off of a child because it's a single child. But really, if you took that money and you broke it down to something simple, you can make some general purpose fund, some kind of tax, some kind of something that would just be so minute the average person wouldn't even notice. And it would not only offset that Title IV money that they're using, but it would
Right.
far exceed it. Not only that, if they're going to pay these people incentives, why not make the psychiatrist or psychologist? Why not make the parenting class teacher? Why not make all of them actually part of the department? So, like, if they remove your kid, let's say they find a risk of harm, they take your kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they do the psych eval in house. They get paid $5,000 for the psych eval. All they got to do is cut the doctor $800, but it's all done right in house. Now that doctor makes a report that goes to the judge that says, okay, I've done this evaluation. This person needs 5 things. And then you get them to do the 5 things, but you do it all in house. You keep the money in house. That way they get to keep all their incentive money, and it forces the reunification. And if someone falls short, well, then that's kind of on them. But, at least then they would have more of a use of the incentive money to build something versus just throwing it all away like they've been doing. Send you to this professional, that professional, not turn in reports. Maybe if they did it a little different, they'd turn in reports and it would actually work for the people.
Well, and if those reports were reflective of what the family needs and wants and expectations and all of that were, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the basis of all of this. The hell with the money, the hell with everything. We need to keep the nucleus of the family together and alive. But the money, absolutely. Imagine if you just break down and divided that money up. Imagine if you
Yeah.
just broke down all the title money and just put it to the children that have been affected by CPS. Each year you took that budget and then put it towards the children that were affected by CPS for like a fund for like a social security, but for the kids that have been taken by CPS. So they can't touch it till they're 18. Maybe a college fund comes out of it, something like that, opposed
Well,
to
if they gave the family 1/10 of the money that they get for housing the kid and then put the family through services, the family would be fine, because most of the reasons families are divided are based on being in the lower economic scales and
right.
not being able to do everything they need.
Yeah.
But
Don't get the yawning going, Melissa. That contagious.
well, I'm sorry. I thought someone was starting at
Me, I'll be out.
6.
So yeah, what? You start yawning in front of a narcoleptic person, and that's a terrible thing. Kenneth, you're
Then
right.
I'll tell you to stand. I'll tell you stand your rear end up and start dancing a jig or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stand up here pretty soon because we're already at 40 minutes. Usually 29 minutes is about my amount of time that I can actually remain sitting without my eyes shutting down. Catherine says to us on the TikTok, she says they are private contractors contracted by CPS. They certainly are. Some states do that way, but we also have found out that some states also actually they're actually employees of the state if they are part of the Department of Health and Human Services. Now, what they've done here in the state of Maine is they voted on it, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to go down with this. It's kind of odd. Was they voted to separate themselves from DHHS and become their own entity, which I think is a ridiculous.
Yeah, privatized corporation for the government.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're talking about worse than what you're saying there.
Well, they can make more money by doing it that way. That's why they do it that way. Is they get a higher incentive because they're a third party.
Right. No, I understand that. But I'm saying that for the people and for the senators and everything to vote for that up here is just asinine. I can't believe that. That just shows you how little paying attention people are doing to what we're talking about. Like there's just no need for that,
Well, if they would start enforcing the rules of these cases more, I think we would see a higher percentage of kids going home because, the department's supposed to do a monthly or quarterly report on your case that goes into the judge that says where you are in your services, how many you need to be done with services.
Right.
And what it takes for you to make your reunification goal. And if they move all those services in-house, they make more money off of it, and they would have a better incentive to return the child. But the other thing that, like me and Dr. Fowler was talking about earlier, if you take, so in the state of Alabama, in the state of Alabama, there is 5,400 children in care.
Yeah.
Okay, out of the 5,400 children, they made $1.2 billion in incentive funding last year. Okay.
Wow.
Now, instead of, prostituting our children for financial gain, because really that's kind of what they're doing.
Right.
What if what if you upped a person's license plate $5 for every license plate in the state, up semis $10. Now, for houses 150,000 and under, up their home tax $50.
Yep.
Now take the 150,000 to 250,000, up at $100. $50 for each bracket up, because Alabama's got a bunch of homes that are worth $23-24 million down on Ono Island. There's a couple hundred homes down there. Even Dolly Parton has a home down there. What, an extra $1,000? That ain't gonna bother them, but it would calculate that little bit of difference. So literally what, an extra $75 a year out of a family?
Yep.
I mean, in a way it's a lot of money because, the cost of living's getting expensive, with groceries and everything. But
groceries are through the roof, right?
That little bit of change would be the difference of needing to use your kid for money or not needing to use the kids at all, and making it an incentive-less salary pay program.
Yeah.
So now there's no bonuses to take the kids. If there's going to be an incentive bonus, it should be $500 to buy the clothes and shit the kid needs.
Yeah.
And the initial payment for the foster home. There needs to be no incentives. Like, even if you just up you throw a 10-cent tax on fuel and call it a child's fund. State of Alabama used a couple billion gallons of fuel last year.
Wow.
Okay, and if you add 2 cents on every gallon, the average person gets 10 gallons. That's 20 cents.
Yeah.
And that would be millions. There's little things they could do to offset our federal funding to where they don't have to use our children. And I bet with how many children are taken every year, the families wouldn't bitch to pay an extra $50 a year or an extra $30
Right.
a year.
If it meant that we could keep our kids home safe with us, there's no. See, what kills me the most about all of this is this, and it's now happy birthday to my daughter. That sucks. But what kills me the most about this is that this was all voluntary. So we voluntarily gave our child up to this system that is joining us live to reach more viewers. Sure, I don't know who you are, but I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not. But if we used this system more to help the kids, more to incentivize keeping them in their home, or not even money wise, but the point is that this was voluntary, and we just gave them up, and then that voluntary giving up of our kids turns into massive amounts of fraudulent money coming into each state for these people to suck up and put in their pockets. And to realize that at the beginning of this, we just did it in fear of losing our kids. Like, if you really look at it, the reason that we turn our kids over and we abide by all of this, because we don't want our kids taken as the main
permanently.
Right, exactly. So all of this is done while we're doing this, running through that hamster wheel. They're sitting there going tick, 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 getting hundreds of dollars at a whack at them, putting us all in services that we don't need to be in, forcing us all to think that we're crazy. And at the end of the game, they still tell you, we're going to terminate your rights and we're taking your kid. And that's just disgusting. And how this is where Melissa and I have been working on this Title IV funding stuff is wrong. Because the number one thing for Title IV funding is reunification. But they're not doing that. So all of these CPS places are doing this in fraud. So we have a letter that we have that, again, reach out to me at abolishcps.com at gmail.com, and we'll get you the copy of the letter that goes out to ask for any person. And I don't care if you send it out to your priest, your pastor, your guy at your grocery store, anybody that has any sort of power or pull to investigate the fraud that's going on in child protective services, send them this letter so that they can get notices to them, and then they'll be able to get someone else to look into this matter, because there's so much fraud going on that needs to be stopped and caught up with, that we could potentially bankrupt each state. I am a firm believer that they're using adoption, or they're using these children to balance the budgets of each state, because it's awful funny when the states are in a negative decline in their total state's budget and fiscal year, but all of a sudden they increase a couple of kids being taken by the state, and wada bing, wada boom, you've got a balanced budget all of a sudden. I mean, I know the state of Maine has had a steady increase of 6% plus for the past 5 years that they've been adding all this money into the main program. Now, why, if you're adding all kinds of money into a program that is supposed to cater to and be all about reunification, why are the adoption numbers growing? And I ask everybody to look into that too in their own states, because there's a lot of this corruption and fraud going on, guys. There sure is. See, these are the things that they want us. They want us to bicker about all this little stuff that they're trying to make everybody point and said, he said, she said, all that stuff. But in reality, we need to be paying attention to this stuff that I'm just saying to you guys. Because what do we have coming up in just months away here? An election. An election that we could actually make such a difference in that they wouldn't even be able to pull voter fraud, because we would all be coming out of the woodwork to vote. And I strongly urge that everybody needs to start doing that. In my newsletter that I have, we have the officials that are trying to run for that. But, these are the things that we've got to pay attention to. Stop all the drama stuff. We don't need to worry about who sent in more things or who sent in less things or whatever. We need to worry about how we're going to continuously move forward and keep this thing rolling so we change.
So, speaking of election, I've seen something on one of the news stations where they were talking about Biden's intentional election fraud. all the open borders and how he kind of mandated that they just hand out voter registrations to everyone. The person, it was someone from the House. Actually, they was talking about Mayorkas's impeachment.
Okay.
And they was talking on the news to families, immigrants, saying, "Look, we know that everyone's handing you these voter cards. Please do not vote. You are not a legal U.S. citizen. It is a felony and a deportable crime. You vote, you will be deported, whether you have that voter's card or not."
Hey,
Because Biden has been giving the cards out to everyone that crosses the border because he's trying to
wow.
build him an unfair advantage. And the
Bro, we've
sad
seen that.
thing is, these immigrants that are coming into the country straight out of prison, straight out of everywhere from all these other countries, are coming here, and even they're pushing for Trump because even though they know there's a higher risk of deportation under Trump, they all see what a babbling moron Biden is.
I mean, how can you not? I mean, I don't mean to be rude about the position of the office of the president, and I don't mean to speak ill of him, but Jesus Almighty.
They
Hey,
openly said they had to dismiss felony charges against him because he was not sound mind enough to stand trial, but they referred to him as a nice, doddering old man.
oh my gosh. Hey, Lost Mama said in the TikTok, she said that CPS workers in New Hampshire, they don't even talk about reunification. That's not even part of their vocabulary. That's funny, Lost Mama. I'm right here in Maine, so I hear you on that one for sure. Um, it's pretty disgusting. Um, man, let's see here. We're getting a phone call, but I don't know if this is. Oh shoot, I can't answer it because of the TikTok, right? So I've oh gosh sakes, something bad just happened. I went down.
Yeah,
Hey
you're
guys,
dropping crap again.
yeah, the phone's vibrating. I'm getting a phone call here. And I told everybody to try to call in if they needed to call in and talk their stories. So maybe we shift that to your phone number, Melissa, if they've got a story. But check this out, people in TikTok that are watching. Are you still live on TikTok too, Melissa? Um,
No, I just set up the studio because I was
oh,
going to try to link the show in live.
okay. So listen up, guys that are watching me on TikTok. I don't know a lot about this TikTok live stuff. But if you guys that are watching can comment or do whatever you got to do to make this so that this is a popular thing and that we can get people listening to us and watching, like if you guys could do whatever, push buttons, make little things bling up. I don't know what we got to do, but please do these so we can get this thing out there and known. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it a lot. And like for you that are just joining us, what you're hearing is that's my co-host Melissa from CPS Victims Hunting Justice. It's from our YouTube channel, CPS, youtube.com/abolish CPS. That's what our YouTube channel is. We have our live feed going on that right now, so you can watch that. And that's every Monday through Friday, 9:30 ish. We try to hit for 9:30, but sometimes it's 9:40 or sometimes it's 9:20. Whatever one we seem to be able to do. But you should check it out Monday through Fridays. So yeah, please guys, with TFI and DHS. What is so this Debbie Anderson is saying she's having problems with TFI and DHS. What is TFI, Melissa? Do you know?
What state is she in?
Let's see. TFI. Debbie, which state are you in? Kansas. Kansas. So yeah, she's in Kansas. So TFI is let's take a look here. Let's see. Hey, Brooke, if you're out there listening, if you want to tell us what TFI is in Kansas, that would be great too. Um, and then I don't know how many of you guys are watching this just solely on TikTok or not, but you can also, we are live on the YouTube channel. We're also live on Twitch. Hey, and I also
So
started a local.
TFI is just like a DHS. It's a
Okay.
family services. TFI Family Services
Okay.
Incorporated. I'm looking at their
Oh.
Know Your Rights manual.
So wait a minute, is that now would that be one of the corporation ones like we talked about the the private sector of CPS? Is that what that is?
I believe so because the handbook literally says child 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 handbook, the foster care manual of knowing your rights.
Okay. We should have a copy of that.
So I do got a copy of it.
All right. If you
I
could
just
send that to me.
downloaded it.
All right. Debbie Anderson. And then she wrote Medicine Lodge. Whatever that means. Lost Mama, thank you for the lightning bolt. I appreciate it very much, guys. I'm just learning this TikTok stuff, so bear with me here. First, I mean, there's so much of this stuff coming in, and I appreciate it, guys. This is great. Very excited about this. Oh, she's in Medicine Lodge, Kansas. Okay, cool. That's really awesome. Um, so I don't know, guys. What do you think? Are we doing all right here with this TikTok? I mean, are we getting things done the way that we like to? I mean, I strongly encourage that you guys should check out our YouTube live stream too. But
So Darren, I just sent you the TFI manual to your internet text.
okay, yeah, I'll change that over.
That way you can pull it up on the computer.
Okay, excellent, sweet. We're gonna get that big up there. CPS is bigger than just problems in America. It's a worldwide pandemic, really. Yes, Brooke, it sure is. It sure is.
Well, at least the
Brooke,
nice thing, we harvest less organs in the U.S. than we do in other countries.
yeah,
Unfortunately, we sell more of them into sex trade. So,
yeah. To be, they are more than the foster families. Let's see here. TFI continues to create new foster parent resources and develop innovative solutions as we work to meet the needs of families and children. Okay. Sin to be, they are more there for the foster families. Okay, seems to be that they're there for the foster families more so. So, Debbie, what's the problem? If you won't mind us asking, what's the issue that you're having out there? Maybe we can brainstorm with you a little bit and we can figure this thing out. Um, if you want to go ahead and let me know, that would be cool. I'm looking here for this.
heck, why don't you ask them if they want to come live on the show? It's not like we have to shut down at an hour. We just choose to shut down at an hour.
You can pin a comment now. Tap a comment to pin moderation. All right, that's cool. I can pin a comment now, so that's cool. So that must mean we're doing something right, guys, right? I'm getting extra functions. I saw your comment on how to see. All right, I'm just waiting for Debbie. You guys can also, you could come to youtube.com at Abolish CPS. That's our room there at CPS Victims Hunting Justice. We appreciate all you guys joining us tonight. We don't know, we just kind of did this to win it tonight. So, you know what? I'm gonna do something right here real quick, Melissa. I'm gonna give us a 1 minute break here on this while I look for something. But remember this video? I've been playing with the video stuff. But let's take a look at this one. Hey, Melissa, you remember that one? That video? That was great, wasn't it? Remember that one? The first ones. Uh,
Yep.
so Debbie says that my daughter, her son has bruises, but I have bruises and my daughter gets them. So I'm guessing that what someone's saying is that the child has bruises, and they're saying that they are um, that from some sort of a harm or something. And that's what's tough with the whole mandated reporting thing, is you don't know, because the mandated reporting people have such stipulations placed on them. Like they can get in a lot of trouble if they don't report something that they find. I think that one person told us in an interview, and they said it was a felony if they don't report it and they find that it's fun. So that makes it a tough get. And then of course you have
Well,
the
yeah,
whistle.
yeah. It's one of those things. You're darned if you do and darned if you don't. I
Right.
mean, the one family that I'm helping over in North Carolina that I did that Rule 59 for, um, the child has brittle bone disorder. They arrested the grandmother, they arrested the father, they arrested the mother, and they treated them as if they tried to kill this kid. But this kid wasn't even in their care. This kid was in the
Right.
hospital as a newborn infant with
Huh.
brittle bone.
Wow.
And now they're trying to do a guardianship to some estranged cousin, couple times removed, and some other stuff. And they have medical proof, and their own attorney didn't even want to turn it in because he had prejudged that they must be at fault and wouldn't even look at the facts, wouldn't turn in the proof. So medical cases are very hard, but if you have a family where you have a parent that bruises real easy, then there's usually something genetic with it, and you need to look to see if the child may have something also, because some of the sickle cell disorders and some of the other blood cell disorders actually
Right.
causes bruising just from sleeping. Sleep on your side too long,
Right.
you'll wake up with a big bruise.
Right. Wow. That's it's just see those things are just getting out of control with how they are allowed to be with this reporting. And then we talked about, so there was something that was said about the doctors though, right? Like the doctors, um do I remember correctly that they are on a less stringent reporting system than the nurses would be, or the nurses are the ones that do the reporting for the doctors, right? Is
Yeah,
that what
the
we were
the the head nurse of the floor,
Yeah.
if they have concern, what they would call the charge nurse, if she has concerns that would meet the level of self-reporting, they would then turn it over to the hospital social worker with the file, and then they would assess whether they can intervene or if it needs the state intervention.
So yeah, so that's the way that works there. Um, so I mean, it's just tough, like it makes parents almost second guess whether or not they want to bring their kids to the doctors if they have a bruise, right? Like you're scared to death to bring your kids in to, because they got, say if the kid fell down and he banged his cheekbone off, that the infamous corner of the table shot, and we've all gotten it as adults and as our kids have gotten it, like they fall off their bed and they get the corner of the nightstand to the eye, or one of those things. But if
Right?
you bring that child into um, the hospital, they're going to say that they're afraid that it has a black eye, so you must have clocked it, and now you're under investigation by CPS, and your life has just been destroyed because they're not just going away like you were just saying. There is no just like, oh, I'm out of here, do 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 do. You know what I mean? There's way more than that than what's going on here.
Well,
So
and more than that, like, they wanted me to put like foam, like the pool noodles, on my
yeah,
fireplace, on the edges of my fireplace. Okay, yeah, because that's so safe.
right,
One, if you got a fire burning, it's going to be hot, the kid's going to stay back.
right.
And you typically have a little, gate around it. But if I put noodles in there, don't I take a really good risk of burning my house down? I mean, how stupid can the 20-year-old worker really be?
Right. Because foam isn't flammable at all, right?
Right. But now, my son Junior, in my care, he's had one little itty bitty bruise um, on his cheek from hitting a toy, like falling and actually hitting the corner of a toy. But it was nothing, like no major bruise, just like a little red spot for a day or so. And
Yeah.
then I remember one time he had a pretty good shin bruise, which I mean that's kind of standard kid. He's been in care 2 years. He's had three black eyes. He's um he had a big split lip, and they had to assess whether or not he might have broke a tooth. He's had a concussion, and he
Wow.
got bit in the face by a dog. And he's only 5 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And now they're saying that he suffers from anger management issues.
Oh really?
So,
Wow.
I mean, like, this is kind of some pretty heavy, heavy shit. Like, foster parents, even if they love the kid, they still don't love them the same. They don't care to stop the kid from falling off his bicycle. They'll just tell them to get up, shut up, try again, do whatever, go on their way. And it ain't important to them like it is us. And of course,
Right.
my youngest daughter, moved out of her home for allegations of molestation against
Yep.
other children. My oldest daughter, at 17 years old, she had to run away from the psych ward they was holding her in, because after they did brain surgery on her, because she literally got her head kicked in 6 or 7 times, she was getting jumped so bad in the place, and the workers were openly telling me she was getting jumped. They also openly told me that there was a report of attempted sexual assault from a janitor against her in that same psych ward. So what is it that these
Right.
departments are doing for our children except creating irreparable harm? I
Yeah.
mean, my son is 5. He went in there just as he was turning 3. He has been moved through 7 foster homes,
Thank you
9
guys.
daycares, and he's getting ready to get kicked out of school. He now has anger management problem. He has little scars on his face from getting attacked from an ankle biter. I
Yeah.
mean, how's he ever going to trust anyone again?
Well, there's another issue that we need to bring up is the trust thing with the kids that get taken out. They get removed away from their families. Like I don't care how you look at this or not, but there's a lot of people, including myself, somewhat. Do I say this? But I say that these kids look at their parents as God because, as Melissa would say, as the fact is this: the parents are the creator of the child. When their child is born, they come from the mother. You and the mother and the father, um, and then the child came. Your love made a child. That's very important, and it's very. Um, I can't think of the words I'm trying to use right now properly. But anyway, it puts the parent as the figure of God in front of this. And then all of a sudden, for CPS to be able to come in and sweep that child away like it's nothing, like it's nobody's business, and for no reasons to not let the parents tell them why, what happened, screaming, freaking out, and all of this stuff, um, that's just, doesn't go well in my stomach at all. Um, I can't believe that's what they do. Um, and how do they get the kids to trust anymore? How do you get in a relationship with someone and be able to trust any longer. Like these are things that
Well, and
CPS
that's a proven
think about.
fact that children suffer from a lifelong trust disorder and
Right,
even a dependency disorder. And now let's cram your kid full of drugs. Let's make them druggies when they didn't have to be.
right,
At least because my son is borderline high functioning autistic. Okay, so with him being borderline, if they try to give him Ritalin or some kind of ADD med, it's going to make him so hyper and so aggressive they can't control him. So at
right,
least I'm lucky enough that I don't have to worry that they're going to put him on that med because it
right,
really makes him act out. And
right.
I know this because one, the same thing occurred with one of my older sons, and
Right.
they tried it with him. Within 2
Everything.
weeks, they had to pull him back off because he was having almost like a psychotic break
Right.
because it was making him that aggressive toward everything. So he is
Wow.
absolutely banned from being assigned medications because, it poses a risk of harm to him. So, I mean, at least I have that benefit. But, they're turning our kids into druggies. They're
Yep.
making them,
Prostitutes.
it is proven that a child in foster care, 7 years or younger, all the way down, they talk about the age of 2, so 2 to 7, that after the child comes out, even if it's only a short time stay, that they will have lifetime trust issues to where they are less likely to have a functioning marriage.
Yeah.
They are more likely to turn toward crime and drugs because of there's more alcoholics that come from it. Therefore, most of the people that are ending up in jail at some point has had something to do with the department.
Of course
The
they have. I
kids that
think
are
they said
being
it.
trafficked, and
I think.
the suicide rate is the important one
Oh,
because
geez.
kids that
Right.
have been in the department are not 5%, but actually 5 times more likely to commit suicide before 16 years of age. So, that's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah, it is very scary. And University of Baltimore did a great study on that. We went over that on the show one time. The University of Baltimore, the harm of removal is the name of that study, guys. Really, you should check it out because there's a lot of information that goes into that that you're not going to get anywhere else. It's going to tell you exactly what goes on in the minds of the kids. It's very well written. Um, yeah, it's a lot of information. Sorry, I was reading these comments. It was a lot of information. You can get it online. The harm of removal, University of Baltimore, where they did this real intensive study on what happens to these kids when they're removed, put into group homes, all of this stuff, and it's insane, absolutely insane. Oh my, you're right about that. Let's see what else is set up here. Especially if you've had a case before. Geez, this is going really well, Melissa. This just coming out doing some random things here. This is really cool, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out and participating in this. I know that it's not, the woo party animal Friday night that we should be at, but it's not. We're here with you guys, so that's where we picked to be. Was here with you guys so that we could share this holiday with you guys and not be sitting around pouting and crying, but feeling at least well enough to make your face known on this holiday weekend, and maybe throw some
Well,
shoes
and
on and
honestly, Darren, maybe if you get freed up a little earlier in the day, maybe we'll run one earlier tomorrow and see if we can get Connie to come on since it's a weekend.
Yeah, I'll try to work on her first thing. So not Connie, but the flowers. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. So we could get that done. I know it's late here. I don't know how many. Right, Brooke. They can't stick us all in jail. They can sure as hell try, but they can stick it somewhere. That's for sure.
Well,
Um,
and hell, they can't keep you forever, even if they do stick you in jail.
what are they going to stick her in jail for?
But, anyways,
Yeah. Good one, Melissa. I think I've got to stand up. I'm going to take a second here and ring out my take my time out here. I have narcolepsy, people. So if I sit down for long periods of time, when you see me doing this on the show at nighttime or whatever, it is that my narcolepsy is caught me, and I don't know it's even happening. So we have a alarm system of people, whether they call me, whether Melissa, makes fast work out of the screen or whatever. So it will happen from time to time. I don't even feel it coming on. Sometimes I feel it. It to me, it just feels like I'll just get up and I'm like, oh, whoops, and 20 minutes has gone by. So. Yeah. So I'm gonna take a second here, Melissa. Let me stand up and let me get my shake my brain out a little bit so I don't fall asleep right now. So it's never because I'm bored or anything. That's not what any of that comes from. So there we go. All right. So Melissa, what do you think about little Nancy Schaefer speech or something? You want to put a little Nancy Schaefer on?
yeah, and um, I also had a comment for Brooke. Brooke, I'm going to send you a link to my buddy's page. Reach out to him. He's not very, or at least he didn't used to be very expensive or anything on a consult. He is a forensic case specialist. He will know how to overturn your shit. If anyone's gonna know, Dean's gonna know. And he's not some Joe Blow, fly by night kind of person. He worked on the Michael Jackson case. He was the forensic file auditor that went in and determined whether or not Michael was murdered, suicide, or overdosed. You know, like he's handled very big cases. He's from down in the Miami area. He does a lot of work in Alabama, but he goes all the way out to California. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a mind like a vault. I haven't talked to him in a year, and I
So
sent him
much
a text
information.
message. Yeah, I sent him a text message. I said, "Hey, are you available to talk?" He says, "Well, hi, Melissa. I haven't heard from you in 11 months, and we were last discussing your daughter and her dependency disorder. How is Sarah?" Like, no joke. He just remembered it off the top of his head. Great guy. Bar none. Knows every trick of the trade for being able to catch the department before, during, and after. So, actually, what I'll do, I think I'll just throw the link for his page up on the general text, and everyone can download it. They can share it around.
Yep. I know that we didn't say it to the TikTok people, but we're gonna do a seminar on CPS basics for dummies. We'll put that together this week, and also Melissa, because we're working hard on our book that we've created. Hopefully, we can get that out here in the next couple of months or a couple of weeks. That thing is going to be packed full of information. I know that you still have a little bit more work to do in it, as do I, but I'm really looking forward to that book because it's going to be the most comprehensive guide that there is for going to war with these guys. So that's something to look forward to too. Also, this week coming up, I believe that we do have. I will dare to say the leading toxicologist in the country coming on our show. I don't want to blast that out too much yet, but for him to come on the show this week would be pretty amazing, and he is amazing. You know that just as well as I do. So look forward to that. What else do we got coming up on the show this week, Melissa?
Well, I think Sabrina was going to try to come on this next week. She's the one where the judge wanted to use all of her personal hair follicles to test, and he makes her take off her shoes in the courtroom and all that. Yeah, so she was going to come in and talk about the judge and how she's been able to navigate the she did a judicial complaint. I helped her draft one.
Yep.
She finished all the paperwork, put it all together, and it's worked out good enough for her that she has made it through stage 1 of the Pennsylvania complaint. So now she's on a follow-up document where she has to label all the new harm and how she feels it applies. So she sent me over the story, and I'm applying the canons to it for her, and then I get it back to her, and she then turns around and files that part, and hopefully we'll have this guy off the bench. I mean, he's a Chief Justice. He's not just a Joe Blow, but women are coming in front of him on traffic tickets, on family CPS cases, and when he wants a drug test done, he asks them if they shave their coochie or not in an open courtroom so that he could use that hair to test.
That's disgusting. That's absolutely asinine, disgusting, and there needs to be something done with that person for sure. That judge needs to be thrown the hell away from.
Well, yeah, it's sexual harassment any way you look at it.
That is so degrading to a woman. First and foremost, like the most beautiful objects
Darren,
on
that'd
this
be
earth.
degrading to a guy. If you walked in front of your judge, you had a woman judge. If you walked in front of her and she says, "Hey, Darren, drop trowel, you got any nut hair for a drug test?"
Right.
Your jaw would hit the floor, and then you'd fall over, pass out, and maybe laugh a little.
Oh man, I don't know what I would do. I'd hate to see what my wife would do to them. That would be the one that would be scary. Jesus Almighty.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine a male judge like that asking your wife to drop trowel for a hair sample.
Yeah, no.
She'd bitch slap the hell out of him.
Yeah, that would be the last thing that judge ever asked. You know what? Here's a funny story. I was when we were in my TPR hearing, right? I had my nice, it was my blue Gucci suit on, looking good and everything. But on there, I had a lapel pin that a guy who was a 9/11 responder had given me, and it said "essential as fuck" on it. Because they said during the pandemic that there was only essential employees. So he had this pen made that said "essential as fuck," and I wore that on this suit for years. And when I went to my TPR hearing, the judge pointed out that I had a lapel pin on, asked me what the lapel pin said, and then the bailiff took it from me, and I never got it back. But I thought that was just rude in itself. Like, there was no reason to draw attention to it. It looked like it was a lapel pin that fit on it, and they just wanted to do that to make me look like an immature brat or whatever, when in all reality, that pin was given to me by someone that was very prestigious and had done very courageous acts, and that was his pen, and they made me get rid of it, and I never saw it again. So, I mean, that alone pissed me off that the judge did that, so I couldn't even imagine being asked a question like what you were just talking about. That's absolutely sick and asinine, and if something does happen like that to anybody that's listening, man, you should please, please, please go ahead and make a complaint on that. And
Yeah,
also,
well, and the thing is, her ex-husband is a druggie. He's abusive. You know, he's kind of a real piece.
right,
Well, the judge is trying to give him the kids, even though she's a
hop right back.
registered nurse. She works
Yep.
full time. She passes all drug tests. He fails them. She passes them. But the judge sits there and just talks about what a piece of crap she is because she's a woman.
Wow, man! You know what? If we need to get, you guys need to make sure you check out that show with us this week, because we need to get as many people as we can to team up with her and get this out and that story out, because she needs some support, and we need to get this judge off the bench. We don't
Well,
need people
and
like
like
her.
I told her, I said, you know, I said, Sabrina, I said, take your judicial complaint. I said, post it in the newspaper. Ask for other people who have suffered the same harm to reach out to you. Do a group complaint. Don't just do one complaint, do hundreds of complaints.
That's it. Absolutely. Well, what do you say, Melissa? I'm getting the evil eye from my wife. And I know it's getting late. But this week coming up, we have a great week. We have a lot of cool stuff to be watching. We're going to try to get this TikTok thing a little bit better. Thank you guys that have been out on the TikTok with me tonight, doing this practice run. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for helping me. I'm so excited to go back and look at the comments and really figure out how we can do this better so that I can interact with you better. You can always contact us. If you guys need help with consultations, email us at abolishcps.com at gmail.com and send us your information, and we can get out, and I'm sure that we can assist you guys in some ways. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're working on also, but you know what? It's time for us to pop our cherries and get out there and start helping these people the way that we need to be helping them. So anything you
What are
guys
you
need,
talking about? I already do that.
yeah, well, I'm talking about through this version of life, as do I. So, but this way, that like we're doing that, the virtual cherry coming out. But yeah, make sure to check us out every night, Monday through Friday, 9:20 to 9:40 ish time period. But we try for 9:30. We try real hard for that. Um, we have the live chat. Make sure you comment on that stuff. But I think I'm ready to call it, Melissa. How about you?
Yep. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yes, it is. So as long as everybody stays safe without CPS in their lives tonight, we'll be good. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Melissa, for doing this. We're punishing tonight. We're out of here. Have a good night.